She has 23 years of experience in the teaching field. She is an elite member of the Board of Studies for 11th and 12th Standard Textbook Committee, Pune. She is a resource person since 2007 for the introduction of new textbook and for the activity-based question paper. She has given her reviews on textbook as a subject expert during the review meetings. She is a moderator for HSC Maharashtra State Board Mumbai Division. She is passionate about language and literature. She loves to read and paint. She has recently read The Shadow Line by Amitav Ghosh. She not only is fascinated by literary books, but also has read some books on Indian politics too, such as 2014, The Election That Changed India by Rajdeep Sardesai. Our Moon Has Blood Clots by Rahul Pandita. Presently, she is reading the collection of novels by Rabindranath Tagore. She has also been in different committees of her college, which has given her a varied exposure. Every year, the college organizes one intercollegiate elocution competition in English. It is quite a grand event, and she is in charge of that committee since many years. She is equally good at co-curricular and extracurricular activities. To sum up, I would like to say that she is one of the multi-dimensional personality in the field of education, and her down-to-earth qualities has helped her in building good relationship with all those who have came across. She is here today with us to give her expertise on how to deal with the poem Money. Without wasting much of your time, madam, Ellie's platform is all yours. Over to you, Srimati Ishita Chain Gupta, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Uh, all of you are my colleagues because we all are teachers. Today, I'm going to deal with the poem Money, written by W.H. Davis. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes, you are quite audible.
I'm audible? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Today, I'm not going to start with the objectives of reading poetry or with the joys of reading poetry, because all the earlier speakers have dealt with that subject. So today, I'm going to directly go to the poem and start the analysis of the poem. Okay. So today, I will go like this. I will begin with the icebreakers, and then we will talk about the poet, then theme of the poem, sorry. After that, I will read out the poem. We will deal with the characteristics of the poem, and then go to the figures of speech, and lastly the activities. First, let us start with the icebreakers. I want to share my screen also.
Please do that, madam.
Yeah. Okay. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So today we are going to start with this poem, Money by W.H. Davis. So, as usual, we start with the poem, we start with the icebreakers, and that depends on the previous experience of the students. Here we will all try to solve the questions by interaction. This will be an interactive session. So I want all the participants to answer the questions and participate in the discussion. Okay. So my first icebreaker question is, discuss why we need money in life. So can I get the responses of the participants? Why we need money in life? Sachin sir, can you unmute some of the participants so that we can get the responses? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We will.
Yeah. Discuss why we need money in life. I want the responses from the teachers.
There are few responses in the chat box, ma'am.
Okay. Let me see.
Shall I read it for you?
Okay, because I can't see the
Yeah, I'll read it for you, ma'am.
Okay.
To fulfill our basic needs.
Okay, to fulfill our basic needs. Yeah.
For our livelihood, materialistic satisfaction,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
meet our needs, then to buy something, and to fulfill our necessities.
Okay, to fulfill
for livelihood, for entertainment, to fulfill our needs. Many more responses are
there. Yes, yes. So I have also jotted down some responses. First is for food and shelter. Okay. Then for medical treatment, which is very important. Next comes education. For our education, for the children's education, we need money. Also to start a business. So these are a few things for which we need money, and many more I have got from you. So, okay, for all these things, we need money. Now, the second icebreaker question is that list a few things other than money which can give us a lot of happiness. Again, sir, I want some responses from the participants. List a few things other than money which can give us a lot of happiness. Please, the participants, yes, chat box I can see. Love, books, peace of mind, mental peace, friends, helping others. Yes, I can see nice responses. Helping others, family, nature, yes. Self-contentment, giving of money to needy students. Very good, very good. So yes, bliss, bonding with children, maintaining health. So yes, health is much more important than money. Sharing other sorrows, yes. So all these responses, sorry. Okay. Sorry, sir. I've gone to the previous one. Yeah. So I've also jotted down. I think I also can give you some clues regarding this. Now, having a walk in nature, taking a walk in nature, that gives you happiness. Reading books and listening to music, then art and sculpture, all these can give you happiness. Even I think more than money gives you, all these things can give you more happiness than money. Okay. Yes. Let us go on to the next slide. Yes, about the poet. No, so we are going to deal with the life of W.H. Davis. Now, W.H. Davis was born in Newport, Wales in the year 1871. He lost his father, who was an iron molder, at the tender age of 3. The next year, his mother remarried, leaving Davis and his 2 siblings in the care of their paternal grandparents. His grandparents ran a inn nearby, a hotel, lodge, whatever we can say, small lodge nearby. So we can understand that Davis was deprived of parental love and care from childhood. And they were not financially very well placed also. At a very young age of 11 or 12, he was arrested for being a member of a gang of 5 schoolmates who stole handbags. Anyway, he finished his school, and after finishing school, Davis first worked as an ironmonger. Later, his grandmother forced him to work as an apprentice to a local frame maker. But Davis did not enjoy that work at all. He was a delinquent young man. He never settled into any regular work. Actually, Davis wanted to sail to America, but he did not have the required money. So he ultimately left Newport and and started traveling. He also took up casual work to support himself. Eventually, he came to USA and traveled through many states, sometimes begging or sometimes taking up small work for survival. With the help of unscrupulous officers, he often managed to find shelter in the jails. Why? To escape the cold of USA. Severe cold, I can say, because you see USA is very cold. So to escape the severe cold of USA, he often took shelter in the jails. There with fellow tramps, he would play card, sing, smoke, and also read books. In 1899, with another fellow tramp, David wanted to rush to Canada in order to make a big fortune. While trying to go to Canada, he lost his right leg in a train accident because he was attempting to jump into a train. He fell down and lost his right leg. So we can say that Davis had seen the harsh world very much. He had faced a lot of problems, difficulties in his life, and so his poems are very much grounded in reality. They have no pretensions. They are very realistic and from his heart. So these qualities we will find in our poem also, the poem which we are going to deal today, Money. Okay. So now let us go on to the next slide. Theme of the poem. Okay, what is the theme of the poem? Money is not everything in life. Money does not give you real happiness. And true friends are those who remain with you even when you don't have money. Okay, so these are the themes in the poem which we are going to read today. This is the poem. Okay. So yeah, the poem. Reading of the poem is very important. When we read with proper intonation, pauses, and modulation of voice, the students are able to understand the meaning to a great extent. So, reading of the poem uh, by the teacher is a very important part of teaching. Now, can any teacher, can any participant read out the poem for me? Please, can anybody read out the poem for me?
Raise your hands, participants.
Yes. Yeah. Please, I will request any one of you to read out the poem.
Okay, Ravindra Kadam has raised his hand. Sir, you are allowed to unmute. Please unmute yourself. Yes, please do it, sir.
When I had money, I knew no joy till I went poor. For many, a false man as a friend came knocking all day at my door. Then felt I like a child that holds a trumpet that he must not blow because the man is dead. I dare not speak to let this false word know. Much have I thought of life and seen how poor men's hurt are ever light, and how their wives do hum like bees about their work from morn till night. So when I hear these poor ones laugh and see the rich ones coldly frown, poor men think I need not go up so much as a rich man should come down. When I had money, oh, my many friends proved all untrue. But now I have no money. Oh, my friends are real, though very few. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yes, uh, while teaching in the class, we can ask some of the students also to stand up and read. If we read the poem twice or thrice, I think it will be a better thing so that the students will understand the meaning by themselves to a great extent. Okay, so that we can do while teaching in the classroom. Now, as we can understand, the poem is very written in very simple language, but it is very realistic. Okay. So what is told in the first stanza, the poet says that he had no joy until he became poor. So money could not give him joy. Until he became poor, he did not know what is joy. So at the very beginning, the poet suggests that money cannot give you joy, or money is not the only thing which will give you joy. So when he had many friends, most of them were false friends. You know, when he had money, most of his friends were all false friends. Okay. Now let us go on to the second stanza. When he had money, he was scared of this world. He was scared of this world. He was scared to speak, probably because that would attract the attention of many bad people. So he compares himself to a child who holds a trumpet and wants to blow it, but have been asked not to blow. So this is a very nice comparison. When you have money, you want to show off your money, you want to speak about it, but still you can't because there is some fear in your mind that it will attract the attention of many bad people. Okay. Now let us come to the third stanza. The poet feels astonished to see the poor people so happy and joyful. Poor people who don't have money, they are so happy and joyful, though their wives are always grudging about their work. From morning till night they have to work. Those poor wives, they have to work, and they are grudging, but still the men are happy and it doesn't matter whether they are having money or not, but they are happy at heart. So when the poet sees the poor men laughing and all the rich men frowning, he feels that poor men need not become rich, but definitely the rich men should become poorer, because after all, happiness is important. So this is a very nice observation that uh, when you cannot be happy, even after having money or even after being rich, what is the use of money? These rich men, they should lose some of their money, they should become poor, and then only they can laugh. In the last stanza, again, almost it is a repetition of the first stanza. Again, he says that when he had money, he had many friends, but most of his friends were untrue. But when he became poor, when he had no money, he had very few friends, but they were all true friends. So a very, as I told you, realistic presentation of the condition of the world. Uh, this really happens to us in this world, and a very simple way of presentation. Now let us go on to the next slide. Characteristics of the poem. As I told you, the poem is grounded in realism and the language is simple. Yes, that is the style of Davies. We find this simplicity in all his poems. Whether it is the famous poem, The Leisure, or The Rain, or Songs of Joy, all the poems are written in very simple language, and that simplicity gives us joy. Uh, the next characteristic is his first-hand experience of tramps and doss houses find an expression in his poem. Yes, as I told you, that he led the life of a tramp, and when he took shelter in the jails of America to escape the harsh, cold, harsh, cold, extreme climate of America, he took shelter in jails. There he had many friends also, and all those friends were also tramps, and they, played cards, they smoked, they made merry, but I suppose they all were false friends, and after that they left him. So again, I think this first-hand expression is revealed in the poem. He has seen the harsh world, so there is no pretense in his poem. He speaks the truth directly. Uh, yes, there is no pretension in his poems, no pompousness, no roundabout way of telling the truth, but very, very direct language. His language shows that he is a person with no show off, no flamboyance, no ostentatious expressions. No, a person who has seen this world and experienced the hardships, and so he is very direct and very down to earth. So these characteristics of the poet's character uh, is revealed in the poem. Okay? So these are the characteristics of the poem. Let us go on to the next slide. Yes, figures of speech. Okay? Now, the alliteration, the use of the same sound at the beginning of the words that are close together. For many a false man. Yeah, for many a false man. You see the sound M. Next one, because a man is dead, I dared. Repetition when a word or a group of word or a sentence is repeated throughout the poem. Yes, in the very first line, we have, when I had money, money, oh. This is an example of repetition. Next, we have simile, direct comparison of two things. He compares himself to a child in the second stanza, then felt I like a child. And another one in the, I think the third stanza, how their wives do hum like bees. Now, wives are compared to bees. In both the similes, we have this word like, which shows that it is a direct comparison, and of course, then it becomes a simile. Now, inversion, another figure of speech. Inverting the normal order of words in a sentence done for desired effect. Then felt I like a child. You can see, and the next one, much have I thought of life. Both the examples are for inversion. Antithesis, the next figure of speech. Two contradictory words or ideas are used in a sentence. Yeah, here we can see the poor and rich. When I hear these poor ones laugh and see the rich ones coldly frown. You see, poor and rich, the two contradictory words are used in the same sentence. Now, another example of antithesis we can find in the poem. Can anybody pick out that? Another example of antithesis we can find in the poem. Shall I show the this slide of the poem?
Yeah, please, madam.
Yeah, shall I show the slide of the poem? Yeah. Yeah. Can anybody pick out another antithesis in the poem? Yes. Yes, morn till night, somebody has written. Yes, morn till night. That is antithesis. Yes. Another one is there. Another one is there.
Someone has said rich and poor, and the another response was trumpet that hasn't to be blown.
Oh, trumpet that he must not blow. Is that antithesis? I don't think so.
Go up and come down.
Yes, yes, yes. Poor men think I need not go up so much as rich men should come down. Yes, up and down. So this is, yes, this is another example of antithesis. Very good, very good. So in the fourth paragraph, fourth stanza, we have two cases of antithesis. Up and down we have, and then we have the poor and rich. Of course, in the third stanza also, we have one antithesis, morn till night. Yes. So these are, there are many cases of antithesis. Now, onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Yes, let us find out. Is there any case of onomatopoeia in the poem? One example of onomatopoeia.
The first response we are getting is hum.
Hum, hum like bees. Yes. Hum like bees. Yes.
Humming sound.
The only example I think of onomatopoeia, hum like bees. Okay. So
yeah.
These are the figures of speech which we find in the poem. Now, yes, we have come to the last and the most important part, activities. No, so activities, are given in the order of vocabulary, then comprehension, poetic device, writing skills, then in this order it has been given in the textbook. Now I have not given activities from all the categories, but some activities which I have felt that will help the students to understand the poem. So those activities I have given. Now, here the first activity which I have chosen is tell some very short stories to illustrate that money is not everything in life. I will ask some of the participants to, to think about some very short stories which you can relate, and you can say that money is not everything in life. Okay, I will start with a story. In the meantime, all of you think about it. I will start with a story, and I will tell you the first story. Then I want all the other participants also to, to all of you to tell some story which will show that money is not everything in life. Now, so yes. Let me start with the first one, first story. Here I will, this is my first one. So it is a very short story. Now, two neighbors were there, Ramchand and Premchand. Okay. So Ramchand was a farmer and, oh my God. Ramchand was a farmer and Premchand was a money lender. Ramchand was very poor, but he was a happy person. He used to never bother to close the doors and windows of his house, and he used to have a nice sleep at night. He slept very nicely at night. Premchand, on the other hand, was a moneylender and was definitely a rich person, but he was not happy. He used to bother about his money. He used to always feel that somebody is going to steal his money. He used to keep the doors and windows always locked and could never sleep properly at night. One day, Premchand called Ramchand and gave a box full of money to him and said that you are very poor and this I am giving you some money and this is going to help you. Ramchand was very happy. He came back home with this box full of money, but at night he could not sleep. He woke up at night and he started closing the doors and windows of his house, but still he could not sleep. Then he was very he was thinking that somebody may come and steal the money. He was very worried throughout the night. In the morning, he went back to Premchand and he told that you take this box of money. I don't need it, but I want my peace of mind. So he gave back the box of money to Premchand and he came back home happy. So this is a very short story, and such type of stories the students also will be able to tell, and that will give a nice practice of their speaking skill also. So this story, what does the story suggest? The story suggests that you can all understand. What does the story suggest? The story suggests that money cannot give mental peace, and or you can say mental peace is even bigger than money. So such small stories can bring out that money is not everything in life. Now I will ask some of the participants to tell such type of short stories. Can you tell me, please? Yes, anybody? such short stories.
Raise your hands and we will unmute you.
Yeah. Somebody has written, Jagdish Patil sir, when a student answers a question correctly and a teacher acknowledges it and appreciates the boy's effort, it makes the boy immensely happy, with which a money cannot give. It's a money which money cannot give. Yes, yes, that is very correct, very correct. When the boy is appreciated in front of the whole class, it gives him such a happiness which money can't give. Yes, very good, very good. Any a little more story type? Yes, anybody can say. Yes, I know it's difficult to say stories, but still I'm asking. Happiness can't be measured by money. It is the state of mind. Yes, true happiness lies in the contentment. Yes, very true, very true. That this also can be illustrated through a short story. Yes, that we can.
May I begin?
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, of course.
It's actually I had read it in Marathi. It's a symbolic story. I would like to narrate it in short. There were 2 candles.
Okay.
In the cupboard, and when the writer found it, he started to think over it. That 2 candles, looking at them, one candle was totally burned, about to finish.
Okay. Yes. Please carry on.
And a little bit destroyed. Okay. So looking at it, the writer started to think that which candle has been successful in its own, or who has lived its life fully.
Okay.
So the candle which was as it is, but having a lot of holes, said it's, and the candle which was totally burned, it burned for others.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Life was, so in the same way, we can use the same symbolic story for money matter, that if you have it, use it for others, then only you will lead a happy.
Yes, yes, yes. When you spend money for others, when you help others, then you become more happy than when you spend it for yourself. Yes, yes, that is very correct. Yes, somebody has written there was a ship in which all the rich people were traveling, but unfortunately ship got started sinking, and those rich people were helpless and their money couldn't help them in saving their lives. Very good. Yes, yes. This is a very nice story. Yes, money couldn't help them in saving their lives. They started sinking. Yes, yes. Yes, we can make a story about a girl who finds herself more happy when she discovers music in life. Yes, yes, because music can give us a lot of happiness. Okay, yes, money cannot purchase happiness and contentment. Okay, we can make short stories out of that. Again, I think I will give you just outline of thanks for all your responses. Titanic story, yes, they were so rich, but still they were drowned. When the ship sank, they were drowned and money could not help them.
Ma'am, shall I tell one story?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I'm Nilofer Rizvi. Ma'am, I would like to give the example of Steve Jobs, the owner of Apple company.
Okay.
At the initial stage, he had to work very hard, but he became a very rich man, very prosperous man afterwards. But finally, he developed a certain rare type of pancreatic cancer. Yes. And he died because of that pancreatic cancer. Now, on his deathbed, he made a confession that he had lots of money, but still he could not get his health and happiness back. Message that money is not everything. Yes. If you want to real joy. You can find it in real friends, and whatever you love doing, you must do that. So that will give you real happiness.
Yes, and a very their story from real life, you know. So
Yeah.
yes, this story will definitely motivate the students. Also, they will help them to realize that money is not everything in life. Yes,
Right.
very nice story. Yes. Another one story which I can give you just outlines of it. No, again a very short story of a small boy. Uh, who whose father is a big businessman, and he doesn't have any time for his family. uh, so this boy, maybe his name is Nick, he always feels jealous, or feels bad that his other friends, they spend a lot of time with their parents, with their father, but his father has no time for him, so he feels very bad for that. Now one day Nick's father is at home in the evening, maybe his meeting has been cancelled and he is at home. So Nick asks him that, Father, how much money do you earn? Per month, how much money do you earn? So the father laughs and says that it's a lot of money. You won't understand. I earn a lot of money. So, but Nick, he's a small boy and he keeps on pestering. He keeps on asking that how much money, how much money. Then he asks his father that how much money do you earn per hour? So his father calculates and says that maybe it is $30 per hour. Nick goes to his bedroom. He takes out his piggy bank. He opens it. He counts the money. $60 are there in his piggy bank. He comes to his father and says that, Father, I have $60 in my piggy bank. Uh, Tomorrow, I want to spend 2 hours with you in the evening. We will go out, and after that, we will have dinner in some restaurant. So please write that in your diary. Here is $60, and please give me 2 hours from your daily schedule. So that is a very touching story. So here we understand that money is not that important, but family values, family ties, that is much more important than money. So such small stories, I think, will help the students understand that money is not everything in life, because nowadays I think people have become very money minded. So it is good for the students to realize that money is not everything in life. Okay. Now, thanks for all your responses. Yes, let us go on to the second activity. Okay. Now, this is from the poem comprehension type. Make a list of the problems of the poet when he was a rich man. Again, shall I go back to the poem? Yes, sir.
It will be helpful for all the readers, madam.
Yeah. Yes, I've gone back to the poem. Can you find out the answers? Yes, I want some answers from you all. Just see what answers you can find out from the poem.
No joy,
No joy. Yes.
friends, lack of freedom, false friends,
Yes. No. I will get chat box. I'll open the chat box. Yes.
couldn't enjoy life,
Couldn't enjoy life. Was surrounded by false friends. Scared. Yes. Uh, he had false friends. Yes. Yes. Good. Couldn't find freedom of expression. Yes, that is very true. Couldn't find freedom of expression. Yeah, somebody has written that story of Midas. Yes. Yeah. Uh, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Now I'm going back again to that slide of the activity slide. Yes, he knew no joy. Scared, confused, worried about his riches. Okay. Thanks for your responses. I have also written down some of the points. Yes, he knew no joy. That is already given. Uh, Felt like a child who holds a trumpet but must not blow it. Then he coldly frowned. He could not laugh. He coldly frowned. And his friends proved to be untrue. Okay, so these answers you have already given. So yes, this activity was not given in the text, so I thought I will make this one so that the students can understand the poem better. Now, next one is complete the table. Find out the differences between a rich man and a poor man from the poem. Again, I'm going back to the poem so that you can find out the responses. Okay. Oh. Yes, yes, the poem. So the differences between a rich man and a poor man. This, yes, I want the responses. Poor people laughed and rich people coldly frowned. Yes, rich men wealthy, poor men light at heart, rich men dissatisfied. Yes, rich man has a big circle of fake friends. Okay, yes, this you can arrange in this table. You know, this you can arrange in the table. Secluded life, no social life. Okay, free and restful. Rich man has no mental satisfaction. Yes, see that your responses are from the poem itself. Yes, okay. Rich can't experience the true contentment of life, while poor men work hard and enjoy peaceful life. Yes. So yeah, I'll close this and I'll go back to the slide. I have given my written down my answers also here, so that I'm going to show. Rich man, mind is full of fears, so can't enjoy. Poor man, heart is light. Rich man coldly frowns, and poor man laughs heartily. Has many friends, has very few friends, all false friends, and true friends. So these are the differences between a rich man and a poor man. Okay, so let us go on to the next activity. Okay, develop a mind mapping. All these are based on now writing skills. Yeah.
I'm really very sorry to interrupt you. I would like to know, I would like to tell you that there are on Facebook also so many people giving responses to your queries.
Okay.
Rishid Vatkar, Hanan Ali, Somnath Bore, Shubham Airekar, Apeksha Tikekar, Asim Chitre, Sujata, and Deepak Wadvi, Manasvi Shirsekar, and Shubham Airekar. These are the people who have now actively participated in every question you have put and they have given responses. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for mentioning their names, but I don't know how to, yeah.
No, that is okay, madam. You can go ahead with your session.
Here in the chat box, I can't see their responses.
No, it is on Facebook.
It is on Facebook. Okay, okay.
Those names to you, just to tell you that they are also there and they are listening to your session very carefully.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for mentioning their names. Thanks to all the participants who are listening to this lecture carefully. Yes. So these are the questions on writing skills. Now, develop a mind mapping frame or design to show that how you can use money for some good causes. Okay, so yes, using money for good causes gives you happiness. Yes, that gives us happiness, using money for some good causes. Now, that will, how to make a mind mapping frame. This is a new writing skill introduced in our new textbook. So here, let the students will have a good practice. We can, in the middle, we can write that money spent for good causes. Then what we can do? Can you tell us? Can anybody tell me? Yes. Okay. Can you tell me what type of mind mapping frame we can do? One, arm we can do education, and in that arm we can do two or three sub branches. Now, education for poor children, adult education. Yes,
Okay.
we can do one arm on education. Next arm we can do about treatment, treatment and medicine. For that, again, one branch for treatment of adults who have no one to look to take care of them. Then another arm for poor people, another arm for orphans. So in this way, we can make different arms to show that how we can use money for some good causes. There are, I think, 1,001 ways to use money for some good causes. This mind mapping frame will be an easy one also, but it will be a good practice for the students also. Yes, medical, charity arm for yeah, people, cyclones, yeah, people suffering from cyclones, and yes, that is a good, yeah, cyclone and earthquake, yeah, uh, calamities, different calamities, yes, money for education to promote paying the tuition fee for poor students. Yes, that we can make in education, paying the tuition fee for poor students. Farmers, yes, we can pay back their loans. Giving money to farmers, we can buy seeds for them, we can repay their loans. In so many ways we can help the farmers. So yes, thank you all of you for yes, your responses, nice responses. Mind mapping frame we can do in that way. Okay, the next one, we can say conduct a group discussion on the topic, have success and money become synonymous. Yeah, nowadays, almost everybody thinks that uh, uh, success means money. Successful people have lots of money. So success has become synonymous with money. Now, a group discussion, again, a new writing skill, though we can't, we have to take it in writing. So this group discussion question also we have to take in writing, but it is a new topic, and nowadays for every interviews, a job interview and even college admission, students need to appear for group discussion. So this is a good topic, I think, that success and money, have they become synonymous? Let us uh, listen to their views, and now let us listen to the views of the teachers also. Yes, we understand that money and success are not synonymous. Success, only having money is not the only criteria of being successful. Having money is not the only criteria, that we know. Yes, again, I think I have some responses. Let me see. No, success cannot be counted by the monetary gains. Yes. Somebody has money is a stepping ladder towards success. Okay, yes, that is also true. You need to have at least some money in order to become successful, to have your complete your education and all. So it's not that we don't need money at all. Money is also very important. Yes. So students today believe that money is the measure of success. Yes, that is what we were saying. Yeah. Success is equal to money in the material world. Yes, in the material world it is like that. So we can conduct a group discussion in the class with the students to with this topic, have success and money become synonymous. Now the last activity, uh, expand the idea of the proverb, a fool and his money are soon parted. Expansion of ideas, that is writing skill which has been introduced in 11th standard book, but I think it will be there for 12th standard also. So expansion of idea, a fool and his money are soon parted. Yes, we have to use our money very judiciously, because as I told you, money is also very useful. So how to use money judiciously and why we should use money judiciously, that can be written in a few paragraphs. Yes, I think I have again some responses. Thank you for all the responses. Yes, let me see. Uh, as the poorest students can crack IAS exam with the hard work. Yes. Uh, After all, money is most important. Pandemic and money may not remain with you forever. Okay. Now, fool and his money are soon parted. Yes, that also we should know how to save money. We should not, only think of spending money. We should keep money for our rainy days also. That is also important. So the students can write down their own ideas that we need money and we should spend money judiciously. That they have to write down in a few paragraphs, and that comes in expansion of idea. Okay. So this is the last activity which I have, yeah, to discuss. And thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me. So yes, we have come to an end to this
Thank you,
discussion.
madam.
Yeah.
Thank you. I request teachers to raise their queries in the chat box, or even if they can raise their hands also.
Yes.
If there are any queries, madam has really treated this poem so simply and yet so emphatically. So, but still, if there is any query, please raise that in the chat box. Okay. Prafulla sir, are there any queries on the Facebook? Please explain second stanza last line.
Please explain second stanza last line. Okay.
Not speak this false world, no.
Okay. Not speak to let this false world know. Okay. This this world is really full of fake people, people who pose like our friends. They come to us posing as friends, but they are not our friends. They come with their various intentions to fool us. So we are generally scared to speak about money because we fear that these type of people may come to our life and they may cheat us. So that is, I think, what the poet says, because I think he, as I told you, he himself was a tramp, and he had been in the company of many fellow tramps, and he enjoyed with them, he smoked with them, he did everything, but at last they left him. So they were not his true friends. They were all false friends. When he had money, they came and enjoyed with him. So I think that this line is, a reflection of his experience, actually.
Ma'am, there is one interesting question.
Yes.
Anita Babu, Jose Madam wants to know, is it good to belittle money, especially in front of commerce students?
Yes, it is good to, we are not belittling money, we are not belittling money. And whether they are commerce students or science students, that is not the thing. I feel that as human beings, we should understand that, okay, money has a place in our life. It is true for everybody. Not only for commerce students, for commerce, arts, science students, everybody needs money. But, money should not be the be all and end all of our life. That
Yes.
is, that should not be it is, we should understand that many things are there which are more important than money. So we are not actually belittling money. Money, we understand, we all of us understand it is very important. Yeah.
Mr. Zumbat Agne wants to know, is there any impact of his personal life on the poem?
Impact of his personal life, yes, I feel so. I have told, I think I have already dealt with that he was a tramp, and he had friends. When he had money, he enjoyed with his friends and all. So I think he had many false friends when he had little money with him. When he did some casual work and earned some money, some false friends came to him, enjoyed with him, and they left afterwards. So yes, I think he has experienced something of that, and that is why he has written all this in his poem.
Yes. Shalini Mudra Madam wants to know, in the second paragraph, third line, because a man is dead, what does that mean?
Because a trumpet he must not blow because a man is dead. Yeah, because a man is dead, the child must not blow a trumpet, because when a man is dead, we should keep with the seriousness of the situation. We should not we should be keep that atmosphere in the right atmosphere. We should not what I say break the serenity and all these things of the atmosphere. So I think the child who has the trumpet, he wants to blow, but still he cannot blow it. Okay, so a person who has money, he wants to speak about money, he wants to show off his money. Whenever we have money, we want to spend it, we want to speak about money, but still we are scared, because as I told you, that it may attract all wrong type of people. Yeah.
Thank you. I think now we are done with these queries. So I request Premjit Madam to continue. Yes, over to you, Premjit Madam.
Good evening all. On behalf of Team Elite, I, Mrs. Premjit Gattiganti, take this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this webinar. At the outset, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to our today's speaker, Srimati Ishita Sen Gupta Madam, for not only sharing her invaluable time with us, but also for enlightening us with her commendable talk on the topic money. We appreciate your advice as you have touched all the aspects very well. I acknowledge the unwavering support and motivation received from our honorable mentors, Mr. Avinash Rade sir and Mr. Anil Bagre sir. A special thanks to our organizing committee for their unflinching support and coordination. We are fortunate enough to have some of the eminent keynote speakers who give their virtual presence by gracing the occasion. To name a few, Dr. Shubhra Roy Madam, Jayashri Jangle Ma'am, Dr. Damodri Sir, and Dr. Gajanan Malukar Sir. I am thankful to all the teachers, educators, and students across Maharashtra for their active participation on Zoom Pro, Facebook, and YouTube. You all were enthusiastic throughout the session. I would also like to thank our President, Mr. Sunil Patil Sir, PRO, Mr. Sachin Jadhav Sir, and technical support, Taruna Madam. Thank you once again. Over to you, Sachin Sir. He will make some announcement regarding tomorrow's session. Until then, goodbye from me. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Be an astrologer for tomorrow's day. Yes, I take a great pleasure in announcing an auspicious number 21. Team Alice 21st webinar will be on Arcane Arenas and Astrologer Day by Dr. Deepak Damodare. So let's wait for till Dr. Deepak readies all his astrologers equipments for us. Until then, until tomorrow at regular time, we'll meet. Until then, it's goodbye from us. It's goodbye from Team Elite. Thank you so much.